Welcome to the Lex Buzz and Pick and Roll podcast. I'm one of your two co-hosts, Brandon.
And with you as always is Tyler.
Tyler, a jam-packed week. The seasons have not even started yet, and we've got a ton of big news to talk about. What episode is this?
This is episode 66, so we're calling this the Phillips edition in honor of Phillips 66.
Oh, I thought you would have went with Route 66. You know, get your kicks on Route. Isn't that a song?
I think, get your kicks on, well, we're getting our kicks on Phillips 66.
Oh, boy.
Why do you think it was called Phillips 66?
I don't know.
Maybe. You think they had like 65 versions of the oil recipe, and then the 66 one was the best?
It's like the Heinz 57, Tyler. Are there 57 different recipes, or are there 57 ingredients?
I don't know.
These are the things that keep us up at night. But we've got a lot of stuff to talk about. More scandal in Louisville. Shocker of the week.
Big shocker.
Some big news as it relates to the UK football team in several different ways. Robots are taking over UK's campus, Tyler, and the Nirvana baby is wanting his dollar bill that he's been chasing since he was on the cover. And to beat all, we're going to do a Wheel of Stupid Topics because you, the people, deserve this. Right? I mean, that's what we do here.
Yeah, it is. We are back in studio. We did not have a show for you last week because we were at the Patchen Pub in Lexington recording one of Don Willoughby's local trivia events for a little special documentary video that we're working on for his impact on trivia in the community. So we were out at that last week. So if you were wondering where we were and our show didn't come up in your feed this week, that's what was going on.
Yeah, and I mean, there's Michael Moore and then there's us when it comes to documentary film. We know that, right?
I think so. Yeah. Ken Burns, and then I think we're right behind.
Yeah, right behind Ken Burns. A lot of stuff going on, Tyler. I had a really jam-packed day today, but I always like to start out the show with how you were this past week, or actually 2 weeks. We haven't had a show in 2 weeks, so what's going on?
Well, it was a big event for the Bentley household this week as we took our kids to their first ever trip to the movie theater.
Oh, that is big, Tyler.
First time. We, of course, saw the, I'm sure, soon-to-be Oscar-winning film, the Paw Patrol movie.
Definitely.
Which, I mean, by all accounts, is one of the greatest films of our generation.
So you're giving it 2 thumbs up. That's great.
I give it 2 paws up.
Jeez, Tyler. This is going to be a long show. We just started.
Oh, it is.
Okay.
But, so that was cool, you know, seeing your kids. Like I just sat and watched them more than I did the movie, just seeing their reaction to the screen and everything.
Now, this is a whole experience for kids because there's the big screen, but there's also the accoutrement that comes with going to the theater. Yeah, I know. You got your popcorn. You have candy. Did you let them sample any of that? Did you sneak it in,
Of
Tyler?
course. Well, we snuck our drinks in because who pays for your drinks? I don't think I've ever paid for a drink at a theater. I always bring my own. So we brought their own drinks. We did buy a big bucket of popcorn. I feel like that's a must. You have to get the popcorn.
How did they take to that? Did they love it?
They ate. We had to go get a refill on the large popcorn before the movie was halfway over. But it was pretty cool. And I was trying to think, do you remember what the first movie you saw in the theater was?
No, I don't, because I saw so many movies growing up that I don't remember. We went all the time.
Yeah, all the time. I can't even remember what the first one. I know some of the first ones I saw was the Ninja Turtles movie.
Oh, yeah.
So I was in like preschool when that came out. So I couldn't have been to many movies before that one.
Yeah, I definitely saw that one in the theater. That's for sure.
And the other one I remember is Masters of the Universe when that one came out. So I figure whichever one of those came out first was probably the first one I saw. I also remember going to see King Ralph when I was a kid and falling asleep.
Oh,
that was the first time I ever fell asleep at a movie.
Oh, jeez, that sounds terrible.
You remember King Ralph?
No, I mean, I know the box, but I always looked at the box when I would go to Blockbuster and be like, this movie looks like it sucks.
It was John Goodman.
Yeah.
And he played a king named Ralph.
That's about as exciting as the movie looked on the box, to be honest with you. That's why I never watched it. But that's an exciting story. That's a big deal. It's a monumental thing that they may remember, they may not. Who knows? But it's a big deal.
It was. It was very cool, and hopefully the first of many trips to the movie theater because I love movies. I'll watch just about any movie. I don't care if it's a kids movie or romantic comedy, as we discussed on our last show that I love deeply. Mm-hmm. Horror, sci-fi. I'll watch any movie. So I just hope that my love for movies will pass down to my kids and they enjoy it as much as I do.
Yeah, that sounds fantastic, Tyler.
Yeah, how about you, man? What's been going on?
Tyler, I had a busy day today, actually. Right before the show started, like 30 minutes before you got here. I just got home. We took the entire family out to Talon Winery. They were having a Jazz on the Porch jazz series.
Oh.
So you could go outside with your little lawn chairs and sit and watch people play jazz music outside, and the kids can run around and play like in the vineyard and stuff like that. So,
and you can drink wine.
Of course not, Tyler. I wouldn't do something like that.
Do you like wine, by the way?
If it's the only thing available.
Yeah.
When I go to a bar, or like if you go to a wedding and it's beer or wine, I'll get wine. Just because I don't really drink beer.
Yeah.
But I mean, other than that, no. But it was a great atmosphere, some good tunes, really talented musicians, and I got baked in the sun, man. I am like, you know how you sit out in the sun sometimes and you just get drained, like your energy is just like,
yep.
That's how I feel right now. So I'm trying to get jacked up right now. You brought in, by the way, you sent me a picture of this gigantic bottle of bourbon that it kind of was disturbing the way it looked. It looked like something from the Hustler store, Tyler. I'll be honest with you. You sent me a picture and you said you want some of this. And I was just thinking, Tyler, first of all, that's not the kind of show we do. Second of all, I mean, no. Come to find out, it was a bottle of bourbon, which, what was it called?
Yeah, it's the Willet, I think it's the Pot Still Reserve or something like that.
Yeah, so you brought that in, and, I was going to try a sip just on air here real quick. But you've tried this before, right?
This was my first time trying it.
Where'd you get it?
I actually got it at Trader Joe's. And, I always go in the liquor section of Trader Joe's anytime we're there. And I saw the bottle, which just, looked really cool. And then the dude in the shop saw me looking at the bottle and started hyping it up. It's like, oh, you got to try that. It's so good. And, talking about all the flavors and everything. Which I'll give you 5 bourbon points if you can tell me either of the 2 unique flavors that are supposed to be in that bourbon that you just drank. You getting any aromas?
I am. I mean, they're good. I'm just trying to figure out what they are.
But anyway.
It's kind of like, it reminds me of like, it's not vanilla.
Oh, yeah, actually, it is vanilla.
Okay.
It's
like a vanilla,
nutmeg,
almondy kind of nutty, like kind of taste.
Yeah, it's supposed to be vanilla and butterscotch.
See, there we go. See, I was right there. So, see, I've got a halfway decent
Very
palate.
good, sir. You could be a bourbon reviewer, connoisseur type person. But so the guy told me, actually kind of funny, apparently Trader Joe's also now makes their own bourbon. Did you know that?
Really?
Yeah.
No, I didn't know that.
It was $15 for a bottle, so I was a little weary of trying the Trader Joe's bourbon. But the guy said what he does is he buys one of the bottles of Willet and drinks it, and then once he runs out, he buys the Trader Joe's bourbon and pours it back in the bottle for when he has guests over. So they think they're drinking a really fancy bottle of bourbon, and it's really the Trader Joe's bourbon.
Oh, my
God. And they clearly never know the difference.
Sounds like a great guy. And this is the person's advice that you took.
Yes, that's true.
Okay, that's great. So you took your advice from a liar and a cheater, Tyler.
Well,
and you thought, you know what, this guy's got it figured out. I'm gonna hang out with this guy.
I mean, I give him credit. That's a pretty smooth move.
Is it?
To fill up your
It's like filling up your vodka with, filling it half with water, Tyler. I mean, come on, you're cheating your guest. Oh my goodness. But overall, great day, great week. Enjoyed myself. We had fun at the trivia event, recording and everything. A lot of fun. Can't wait to share that video with you. It's we got a lot to edit. We got a lot
of work to do.
I didn't realize how much we had.
There were a lot of trivia questions
that we helped write.
Yes,
by the way, that's part of the video is we helped write this, and we'll have video showing us working with Don, coming up with the questions, and actually seeing the people trying to answer the questions that we came up with. Very interesting.
Yes, it was interesting to see the questions that we thought were hard, that maybe a lot of people got, or the questions we thought were easy, that we thought, oh, there's no way anybody will miss this one. But people surprised us. There were, you never know what people will know.
Yeah, it is kind of crazy. Tyler, we've got a lot to cover on the show today. We're going to start with sports, and we have to start with the UofL dumpster fire again.
Oh, boy.
Nobody has put out this dumpster fire for years. It's still burning. It's like what the Bengals song, Is This Burning? An Eternal Flame. That eternal flame is the University of Louisville Athletics dumpster fire. Just so you know.
Yes.
So if you haven't heard, there's a scandal with current coach Chris Mack and former assistant coach Dino Gaudio, who is also a close personal friend of Chris Mack, and that Chris basically has an audio recording of Dino telling him to do something or else. Basically an extortion case. Dino Gaudio was sentenced to 1-year probation and a $10,000 fine based on this. And Chris Mack is in hot water as he has been suspended without pay for the first 6 games of the U of L basketball season, which cost him about $220,000. So in all, Tyler, just to surmise it all, Chris Mack lost $220,000. He doesn't get to coach his team for 6 weeks. He just lost his mentor and one of his friends, and nobody likes him. So who has had a worse week than Chris Mack, Tyler?
Buddy, I mean, I guarantee they're not friends anymore after this. I mean, I just can't believe, one, that he would even record this conversation. Like, do you record conversations with your friends, with your mentors? Like, I mean, I don't. I mean, maybe you're secretly recording our phone calls.
We're recording this conversation.
Well, that's true. This one is out there for posterity. But, I mean, just the fact that you had the nerve to record your mentor, your friend, for decades. These guys have been friends for forever. To even record the conversation, I don't know what's worse. Him recording it or Dino Gaudio trying to extort him and say, give me a year and a half salary or else. I mean, both are terrible, but it's funny that I think what Mac did is worst, honestly. I really do. Just the fact that he, and on the video, what's funny is like, hey, I don't want to screw you over, man. He kept saying that over, like, I'm not trying to blank with you. I'm not trying to mess with your money or your family, and he kept repeating that while he was recording
while
him.
He was trying to screw over his,
I can't believe it. I think Chris Mack, if they don't have a good season this year, I think he's done. He better have a heck of a year to make up for all this.
It'd be great if they could get to the tournament. You know, what's their definition of success? He's trying to get to the tournament at some point, right? If they get into the tournament, is that good enough? I would just say, you know what, Chris, we're good. We're going to move on. And then I would record that conversation if I was UofL and then put it out everywhere. So since you like to record conversations, Chris, here's a record of us firing your ass. Get out of here. No,
Nice.
But the other thing is, when he loses this job, who's going to want to work with this guy?
Yeah.
I mean, talk about blacklisted. Whether it's fair or not, I mean, he did expose something that Dino did that was not good. Mm-hmm. Now, the judge in the case did say that if he could possibly give a lower sentence, he would. He said, I don't understand how this is a felony.
Yeah, that was great.
He said, if I could give a lower sentence, I would, because this is silly. But he did do something wrong. I think he kind of knows that. He admitted it. But I don't think it was malicious to the point where he was going to try to take Chris Mack down and ruin the whole UofL athletics department. I just don't know who's going to want to play with this guy. Who's going to want to be his assistant coach? He will throw you under the bus in 2 seconds. You know what I mean? And you don't know when he's recording you. That's the other thing. So are you ever going to be able to be fully honest with Chris Mack? Because you don't know if he's going to run around and put something on Twitter or go to the FBI with something, you know, blah, blah, blah. He called me a meanie. I've got it on tape. Cry me a river, Chris Mack. You suck. You need to go. It doesn't matter what this season is. He just has got to go.
Yeah. And also one of my other favorite parts is when Dino referred to Vince Tyree, the athletic director at UofL, as a toad.
Burn.
I thought that was quite entertaining. I got a kick out of that.
He'll never recover from that one.
Nope. It's very bad. Just when you think Louisville can't possibly do anything stupider, they just go and do it.
Just when I think, yeah. I mean, it's ridiculous, but I mean, it's the UofL dumpster fire. It is the eternal flame that will continue to burn. It's been burning for a decade, and I don't think it's going to stop.
Yeah, and you love to see it.
Yeah,
it couldn't happen to a better person.
Absolutely.
All right, well, Brandon, UofL is not the only school in the state dealing with bad publicity. The 6 UK football players charged with burglary will have their case now go to a grand jury. Now, I'll be honest, I had to Google what a grand jury does. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you are aware, but a grand jury apparently doesn't decide if you're guilty or innocent. They're basically just going to hear the evidence and decide if the charges against them should be dropped or if they should actually be charged with them. So this is kind of a stepping stone to what the next phase would be. Mm-hmm. But if you've been living under a rock, the accusations stem from an incident at a UK fraternity party where supposedly there was some fighting going on between the players and the residents of the house.
Surely not a fraternity frat party football. No, that never happens. Football teams, frats. You're full of baloney, Tyler, but go ahead.
That never happens. But the most serious issue is that Vito Tisdale, accused of having a gun, bringing it into the house, which just escalates everything.
Sure.
So not the news you want to hear a week before our first game.
No.
What do we make of this?
I mean, there's a lot of stuff to unload here. First of all, it all relies on the gun thing, right? And it's tough because I don't know what he did with the gun. let's say he had one. Did he keep it in his pocket? Was he
Yep.
brandishing the weapon? Was he threatening people with it? We give 18-year-olds weapons to go kill people overseas all the time. So when the gun thing, it depends on what he was doing with it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So that's just my opinion. I don't know what the legalities are. I'm just telling you, unless he like pulled it out and said, "I'm gonna bust a cap in your ass" or something like that, then I'm fine. People have guns. We're in Kentucky, for Pete's sake.
Yeah, and it wasn't off campus, so it's not like the campus gun policies would apply to this.
Yeah, and I'm sure that he never had it on campus either.
For sure. Right, yeah, I'm sure he's...
So that's the good news. As far as the fight, I mean, you don't want to say that it's okay for these people to fight, but people fight. It just happens. I was in college one time. I've never been in a fight, but I would imagine, this isn't unusual. I saw my I guess enough skirmishes would be a nice way to put it. But I was never involved with him. I was like, yeah, kick his ass. Yeah.
And then I'll step to the side.
And then run away, World Star Hippo, whatever. Take my video out. But, this is not unusual behavior. These guys are 18, 19, 20 years old. Nobody was hurt too badly, I don't think. There's some rumors that there's pictures of people with black eyes and stuff like that. I'm sure those will come out if those are indeed real. But the other thing was that Vito also got in a little bit more trouble for marijuana possession. Mm-hmm. So he's not having a good week. He is trying to outdo Chris Mack for the worst week.
They are neck and neck.
They are neck and neck. As far as the marijuana thing, I don't. It's tough because it's illegal.
Yeah.
But I have my personal feelings about it that's total baloney that it's illegal. But I can't let that impact me. It's illegal, so you can't do it. So you got to wonder how many times Stoops is going to let this go. Stoops has had a really interesting offseason where he's had coaches get in trouble. He's had players get in trouble. He's got to rein this sucker in.
Yep.
Because when he stops winning and these things happen, it's not funny anymore. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yep. And I think you hit the exact point that troubles me. It is not this one particular incident, but the combination of incident after incident that seems to be happening. We've had one coach who was pulled over for open alcohol container. We've had another coach in trouble for supposedly assaulting his wife. We've had,
and I think those charges did get dropped.
Yeah.
So,
but still, it's something
you don't want it.
It's a black eye.
Yeah.
And now we have this. It's just not a good look. And as things continue to get worse and worse, as more events continue to happen, I mean, at some point, when do we say enough is enough with all these? At what point do we continue to allow this? And a lot of that probably depends on exactly what you just said on how much Stoops continues to win.
Ask Philip Fulmer, right? Everybody was fine with what was going on in Tennessee. I mean, there were people getting arrested there all the time.
Yep.
There's even an award they would give out called the Fulmer Cup for the team that has the most arrests. I don't know if you've seen that. Yeah,
I missed that.
Yeah, the Fulmer Cup. I had somebody that I know send me the text and said, "Are we competing in the Fulmer Cup this year?" and sent me the article and everything.
That's awesome.
So, I mean, ask Philip Fulmer. It's all fun and games when you're winning. People will overlook it, but when you go 2 or 3 seasons and not winning, even though you win a national title, you're gone. You know what? Stoops hasn't won an SEC title. So imagine what happens if he doesn't win for a year and he has all this stuff going on. It could be a problem. I love Stoops. I think they should build a statue of the guy. But he's got to get his you-know-what together.
Yep, I agree. It's okay, to have something every now and then. But when we've had now 3 major news stories, 2 coaches and 6 players come out just this offseason, it's concerning to me.
It is a problem. Speaking of football, Tyler, a new mask policy for Kroger Field. Try to keep up with this one, Tyler. So there's been, all over the country, there's been different mask policies implemented. Some places, even like LSU, saying that you must show that you've had a vaccine or prove a negative test. Correct?
Yes.
Well, UK is saying screw that. All right? They are basically saying we're not going to check anything. We're not going to check vaccinated or unvaccinated. However, on the honor system, if you are unvaccinated, then you must wear a mask at all times. If you're vaccinated, you just need to wear a mask indoors, and you can go without a mask while you're outside. However, if you are in one of the premium suites for the high rollers, it don't matter what you do, Tyler. If you cannot wear a mask, you can spit on the people that don't wear a mask, and you can do that without any kind of problem. Tyler, what are your thoughts on this mask policy? Are you excited about wearing masks or not wearing them in Kroger Field this year?
Give me a freaking break, Mitch Barnhart. I mean, how many more privileges can we give the big donors and the wealthy and all the people in the suites? This is just another of the multiple times that the average fan gets screwed over while the people in the suites who give all the money basically get to do whatever the heck they want to do. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I mean, how many times have we said, this virus is not political. This virus does not care how wealthy you are. Yet, here we have Mitch Barnhart giving separate rules for the rich and everybody else.
Mitch Barnhart cares how wealthy you are.
Jeez.
Well, let me play devil's advocate here, Tyler. What those people built, these people build the football program. They build the basketball program. They helped improve Kroger Field. Mm-hmm. All these new things that you see are because of their money.
Okay.
Okay, so what if they say, okay, you put a mask policy on us, our money's gone.
All right. Well, but if you keep screwing over the average fan, how great's the environment going to be at Kroger Field when the only people there are the 2,000 people in the suites and the average fans that say, all right, I've had enough of being screwed over.
Do you think that's
going to
happen?
It at home.
Do you think that's going to happen?
I mean, you keep pushing. I mean, you listen to KSR, you hear all the people who call in like, I canceled my season tickets. They've just pushed me too far. I mean, you keep pushing people. You keep putting more and more restrictions. More and more people are just going to say, you know what, to heck with it. I'm done.
Well, you know what they'll do? They'll just remove the average fan seating and fill them up with more suites.
Just have an entire stadium.
Eventually, our capacity will go from 60,000 to like 20,000, and it'll all be taken up with premium suites of people just drunk off their butt.
What a great home environment that'll be.
Yeah.
You'll have 20,000 people who don't even know there's a game going on.
Yeah, that's true. And they'll have cardboard cutouts like they did during COVID and stuff. So, I mean, they'll do that. And then, they'll put Kroger branding on it and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, what do you think? You think Mitch is off his rocker, or you think this is all right?
I mean, the sweet thing is a little ridiculous. I'll give you that. The mask policy, he might as well just not have even come out with anything. I mean, it's on the honor system. Nobody's checking it, which you shouldn't put that. I don't think you should put that burden on the blue coats anyway. There's no way they're going to sit there, as hard of a job as that is anyway, when people are flooding the gates, to come in and show a vaccination card and confirm that it's right. If I was a blue coat, I'd be like, yeah, just go.
Yeah, go. They're getting paid, what, maybe $15 an hour, if that?
Just go in. Go. So just don't even come out with anything and just say, no, we're not doing that. We'll let you know if we change our mind.
Yeah. So are you going to go to a game if you have to wear a mask?
I don't care about the mask thing. I mean, it's fine. I'm a Kentucky Wildcat. If I really want to see the game, I'll wear the mask.
Yeah.
Now, if there are businesses, on the other hand, that I can voluntarily go to and choose a different competitor that says no mask needed, I'll go there. But there's only one UK. There's no I'm not going to go to UofL. Sure. You know what I mean? UK's got the monopoly on my fandom. That's the only place I'm going to go. So I'll go there. But if there's a restaurant that says you have to mask up, in between bites or something like that, I ain't going there. Mm-hmm. But there's no competition for UK, so it is what it is.
Yeah. Well, it'll be interesting to see what impact this does have on attendance for this season. Mm-hmm. Brandon, lastly, we got to do a little football season preview here.
Okay.
I want to know kind of what are your big picture thoughts? How do you think the team is going to do? And then I think we should just kind of real quickly go through each game, give a win or loss prediction, and so we can give.
Are you going to keep track of them as we go?
Yeah,
are you going to mark them off? Okay.
I will keep count, and whoever gets the closest to the actual record.
Well, I'll tell you what. Let's do this. Let's run through a lightning round. You name the game, and I'll tell you win or loss, and you do the same thing. We'll just fire them out.
Okay.
Let's do it. Okay, first game.
All right, first game is I should have been ready.
Oh boy, this is
okay. Here we go.
This isn't the lightning round.
All right, shut up. Game 1 this Saturday, September 4th, noon kickoff. UK at Louisiana Monroe. Okay, so Louisiana.
What do you
Monroe.
got?
Win.
Okay. What?
Okay.
Next?
Big game, week 2, Missouri.
Win.
I'm going win as well.
Okay. Next
week, Chattanooga.
Win.
You sure?
We're starting 3-0. Yes.
3-0. All right. Week 4 at South Carolina.
Win.
Brandon's going to win. I will also go win. So we're at 4-0, both of us. 4-0.
Good. I like where this is going.
We might be cracking the top 25 after those.
What do you got?
4. Next, we got the Murderers Row of games, starting with Florida at home.
Win.
Oh,
just be honest. This is an honest show. If you don't think we're going to win, just put it. It's perfectly fine.
I'm going to say win.
Oh, okay.
5-0.
Okay.
Both of us are 5-0. Next, we got LSU at home.
Win.
Brandon's going to win. I think we lose. I just think we're going to lose one of those two. I don't know which one it's going to be. So I'm just going to pick LSU.
That's
because
fair. That's fair, but I think
we
should win that game.
All right. Next week we got at Georgia.
Lost.
No chance.
No chance. Well, there's a WWE theme song. I can't remember what the wrestler was. No chance in hell.
I do not remember that one.
No chance in hell.
You don't remember the wrestler's name?
No, somebody will let us know.
Was it that he had no chance in hell, or that the opposing wrestler?
I don't know.
Hopefully it wasn't referring to himself.
Okay, next.
All right, next we got at Mississippi State Halloween weekend.
Win. Oh, okay. It was Vince McMahon's theme song. Yeah, I knew it was somebody. It was either him or Shane McMahon, his son. No chance in hell.
I'm going win also at Mississippi State.
Okay, good.
Then we got Tennessee at home.
Win.
I'm going win also. Then we got at Vanderbilt.
Win.
Oh, win. Home, New Mexico State.
Win.
Win. And then we got at Louisville.
Win.
Win.
Did I really have us only losing one game?
You have us 11-1.
Well, I may need to rethink.
11-1. I'm 10-2. That's a hell of a prediction.
Is this unreasonable? Are we doing a Homer podcast right now? Because here's the reason that I think things are going to be different this year is because for the first time in Stoops' tenure, we've been more successful under Stoops than we have under any coach in decades. The one consistent factor is we haven't really had a quarterback.
Yep.
The X factor this year is Will Levis at quarterback, and it's also the new offensive coordinator Liam Cohen. I think they're going to form a dynamic duo that's finally going to be there to assist our defense, who has performed great under Stoops. Put that together with an offensive line that can protect a quarterback that's actually dangerous when they drop back. Put that with Chris Rodriguez, our tight ends. I mean, we've got a lot. We've got a lot here. You know what I mean? This may be the deepest team that we've had since Stoops has been here with top tier talent. Will Levis is a star. He's the X factor that we haven't had the entire time Stoops has been here. He's managed to win 10 games in a season with mediocre quarterbacks. So I don't see any reason why we can't win 10 at minimum.
Let's be honest here. Everything comes down to how good Will Levis is going to be. That's what this 11-1, 10-2 prediction we just made. That's assuming he's going to be good. If he doesn't live up to the hype, then we're winning maybe half these games that we just mentioned. But if he is what we think he will be, all the other pieces are there, like you just said. The offensive line, we've got a emerging superstar running back. We have two playmaking wide receivers. We've got guys like Josh Paschal, DeAndre Square on defense. We've got maybe the deepest secondary we've ever had. Everything is there if we get the quarterback play. That's what everything comes down to.
And yet we don't get a single vote in the top 25 preseason rankings, Tyler. Not even one. Not even one. And you know what? I like it that way.
I like it.
I like it that way because actually one thing I worried about was, what if they put us at like number 23 or something, then the team's going to come in and be like, oh, yeah, finally, some respect.
Yep.
Now they're looking at it like, we didn't even get a damn vote? What the hell is this? What else do we have to prove to do something here? You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I think the fact that we were disappointing last year, we won, 4 regular season games?
Yeah.
So I think that people in the media are seeing, Kentucky's reverting back to the mean now. They're reverting back to the norm. This is the old Kentucky that we're used to. But, last year was just, you got to throw out last year.
Yeah, it was a weird year all the way around. So I can't really look at that. It was a murderer's row of games. It was all SEC teams, for Pete's sake. And, we saw what happened when we got in the bowl game. After we'd played all those SEC teams all year, the other teams are a little bit easier to beat.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, I don't know. I think it all comes down to Will Levis, but I don't think the coaches hype up Levis like they have without there being something there. You know what I mean? I thought the quarterback competition would go all the way through starting, the first day. No, they're like, yeah, he's our guy,
And he is going to be a celebrity. He's going to be a rock star. If he's just good. He doesn't even have to be great. But we've had mediocre quarterbacks for the last 15 years. So if he can just be above average, he's going to be a superstar in this town.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what happens. I think we can win 10 games without question. You never know what could happen, but if the team stays together as a whole, there's no injuries, I say at least 10.
Wow. That's crazy.
It is crazy.
Who would have ever thought we were predicting 10 and 11 wins?
Oh, I used to every year, the last 30 years. I was just always really wrong. But this time I actually think we can do it.
Well, we'll find out starting Saturday.
We'll find out. Tyler, that was an interesting segment on sports, I got to say. Nothing better than starting out with the Louisville scandal. I absolutely love that. If you haven't followed us already on Twitter, make sure to follow us at LexBuds. LexBuds and Pick and Roll on Facebook, LexBuds.com, and Instagrams at LexBuds as well. We're all over the place.
Yep, we will have our official football season preview online this week. So make sure you're checking out LexBuds.com and following us for that when that comes out.
That'll probably be, Monday or Tuesday this week? Probably.
Yeah, should be coming out the next day or two with all of our ridiculous predictions for the season. And also make sure you're following us so that you can check out our documentary on trivia. If you've ever played trivia, been a part of it, you'll want to check that out once we get that released. So make sure you're following us for all the latest and greatest news from LexBuds.
And when the season starts, Tyler, they're going to want to follow us during the football games because we have snarky comments throughout the whole game.
We do. We will tell it like it is. We hold no punches, good or bad. We will call people out.
We want good, but we have to point out the bad.
That's right.
But Tyler, it's time to get down to the news. Tyler, robots are taking over UK's campus.
Oh, no.
I don't know if you know about this. Starship Technologies, Tyler, has produced 30 robots to deliver food all over UK's campus. These include food items like Subway, Starbucks, Panda Express. The unit can hold 30 pounds of food, and it will deliver it all over campus. All you have to do is download the Starship app. You can follow the robots all over campus to see exactly when they're going to be arriving to your dorm or to wherever you are at that particular time. Your thoughts on these robots rolling all over campus, and do you think this is something that will last?
I don't like it.
I don't like it.
No, sir. I don't like it. I have seen the Terminator movies. I've seen the Matrix.
This isn't Cyberdyne Systems, Tyler. This is Starship Technologies.
Well, yeah, Cyberdyne started out as just a regular business, too. I've seen how this artificial intelligence stuff plays out, Brandon. Okay. I'm just waiting for Sarah Connor or somebody to come, blow up my office and kill me for starting the, robot revolution at the University of Kentucky. I'm terrified to even go to work anymore. I don't like it. It just seems unnecessary. It just seems I already don't like how automation is replacing jobs. I hate the self-checkout at the grocery store.
Do you use it?
If I have to.
Okay, exactly.
But I don't like it.
Okay.
I will purposefully...
They're making you do that.
I will wait in line just to get checked out by a person unless I'm in a hurry. Mm-hmm. So I don't like it. I mean, we're on the verge of having cars and trucks that can drive them. We're just going to... I mean, we're on the cusp of eliminating hundreds of thousands of trucking jobs. Having trucks that can drive themselves.
Okay.
People
maybe we're just starting a different industry, Tyler. Let me play devil's advocate here.
All right.
Maybe we're starting a different industry. Somebody has to make those robots. They have to be produced. So you're creating jobs in the production of them. They also have to be serviced, correct? So now you have new service technicians working on these robots. You also make the food industry more efficient by getting this food out on time, reliable, that it can be tracked. So they become more efficient and more profitable. So you're helping their business. So what do you have to say about that? Basically, what somebody may argue is that it just creates a new industry versus eliminating another one.
So when Kroger puts in all these self-checkouts, are they doing it because they think it's going to help people get in and out of the store more quickly, or are they doing it because it's a cost-cutting measure that they don't have to pay somebody to do it?
Do you think it serves both? Do you think people get in and out quicker if they can just scan stuff real quick? Since you brought this up, Tyler, you brought this up. Do you think it's more efficient sometimes when there's 8 lanes of self-service just to go through and...
Yeah, but if we had actual 8 lanes of people, like they have, if you go to a grocery store, there's like 2 checkout lanes with an actual person in it. The reason it takes forever is because there's only 2 of them. If we had 8 lanes open, or all the lanes that we have self-checkout, it would be just as fast.
All right, now we're getting off topic here, Ty. We're talking about Kroger. I'm talking about these robots. Okay, you're talking about automation and artificial intelligence. Let's talk about these robots.
Okay.
Is this not a new industry? Somebody has to build them, somebody has to service them, and it makes the food delivery more efficient.
Yeah, but are these robots being built in Lexington, Kentucky, or are they being built in California or some foreign country? We are taking away jobs from Kentuckians so that somebody in Silicon Valley can have a job putting these robots together. No.
Okay, that's a fair point.
No. I want people in Kentucky to have these jobs delivering the food, not a robot.
Let me tell you this right now: there are plenty of jobs for people in Kentucky. Every business I've driven by
that's
has now
point.
hiring signs.
Everybody.
Yeah. So, but your point is well taken, Tyler. I totally get that. What we got next?
All right. There was quite a tale this week about the Meade County school system. You're already rolling your eyes. I got more puns. Just wait. Apparently, parents are not feeling quite frisky about students that are dressing and acting like cats. But one grandmother in particular is complaining that students will hiss or scratch at other students if they don't like what you're doing. Apparently, this grandmother has started a petition to have no cat costumes or hissing or scratching at other students in the Meade County school system. Brandon, do you think school officials should pause and examine this catastrophe? Or is this just an example of how something multiplies on social media like a litter of kittens? And that the school leaders should just stay quiet as a church mouse on this one?
Man, Ty, how long did you spend on that? You were up all night writing that one.
I was.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Thank
but
you.
I mean, this deserves it. Let me tell you this right now. Couple things. One, if I'm the parents, that lasts about 2 seconds when my kid comes down the steps with cat costumes on. And I'm not going to repeat it.
Off at the door.
I'm not going to repeat what I would say to them because this is a PG podcast.
Okay.
But
fair.
I would basically look at them, say a few words, and they wouldn't be leaving out the front door. They'd be embarrassed of people hearing me from across the street. I would be yelling so loud. So that's number one.
Okay.
Number two, Meade County Schools, I hope that you grow some cojones here and suck it up and say, what the hell are you doing? Just get out. Go, just get out. You ain't coming in. What's so hard about that? Are we afraid of hurting these kids' feelings or something? How about just a general assumption you don't dress like a cat, jackass?
I mean, well, let's just say that they were dressing like cats, but if they
No,
weren't,
they are.
Well, yeah, they are. What if you take out the harassment of the other students? Obviously, if you're bothering other kids, and that's a problem. But what if they were just dressing like cats? Would you?
Yeah.
You think they need to tell kids not to dress like cats?
I tell you this: if my principal ever allows cat dressing in the school, I'll be having a conversation with the principal, and it will not be good. Okay, there's no way. You got to have some boundaries at some point. The inmates don't run the asylum. You are the ones in charge. You get to dictate who comes in that school or not, and you need to tell them to get their SHT together or don't come in. Same thing with the parents. I wouldn't be as eloquent, probably as the principal would be, but I can tell you this: my kid, if he ever comes downstairs in the steps with a litter box behind him or something and a cat outfit,
a leash around their neck, and collar, cat ears,
not happening.
Whiskers.
Not happening.
Yeah, I agree with you. I was just trying to probe you there. If you look at any school's definition of a dress code policy, they always have that line in there that's anything that is considered distracting to other students. Well, I can't think of too much more distracting than if I'm sitting in geometry class and somebody sitting in front of me has got cat ears.
Do you think they start licking themselves like start cleaning themselves?
I mean, it absolutely it's a distraction. Just take out the bothering other kids with it. It is a distraction, and it can't be allowed. You can't have kids just coming in all nimbly bimbly dressed up as cats and walking around, and it's a school.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Yeah, I mean, if I was a student and one of these kids were, I wouldn't bully anybody, but if I was ever going to start a fight with somebody in school, it would be this. I would kick their ass and say, "Let's see if you land on your feet, you big." Well, then I would use a word.
Let's see if you got 8 more lives after I beat the hell out of you.
And to be honest, you know me, I'm not the person that would start a fight, but I mean, it's just a little ridiculous, and you don't even need the dress code, even if it's not addressed in the dress code. This is called common sense.
Yes.
This doesn't need to be written down. This is just stupidity. Suck it up, Meade County. Get them out of there.
Yep, I agreed. What we got next?
Tyler, a Lexington-bound flight from Atlanta. Everybody's excited. They're on the tarmac. They're getting ready to take off. Well, I don't know if you've heard, passengers are getting a little unruly these days, and a certain passenger would not put his mask on, leading to the flight being delayed by over 30 minutes on its way to Lexington. Tyler, what are your thoughts on this, and is this something that we're just going to have to live with, unruly passengers?
Brandon, you know me very well. I consider myself, I'm probably one of the most patient, kind, understanding, give anybody the benefit of the doubt person that you'll ever meet.
Okay.
But if I'm on this airplane and I've got my 2 kids that I've been hauling through runways trying to make flights on time, they're crying, they're tired, they're hungry, they haven't had their naps, they're fussy, and I'm just like, please God, get me to the next stop, get me home. And then some jackass decides he's not going to wear, or she decides that they're not going to wear a mask, and we have to turn back around and go back to the runway. I'm going to be ticked off.
What are you going to do, Tyler?
I'm going to tell that person. And again, I'm not the type of person who ever says anything to anybody. Like, somebody can cut me off in traffic. They could steal my parking space. I'm probably not going to say a word. Mm-hmm. But something like this, where now me and my family are involved, I'm going to literally be yelling at that person to put your damn mask on. Put it on. Just put it. What I don't understand, why even buy the ticket? Why did you even buy the plane ticket? You know the rule, unless you are just living under a rock.
I believe some of these people are, Tyler.
Or they either live under a rock, or they are one of these people that think the rules don't apply to them and that they can get away with it. Either one, it's infuriating, and I can't think of anything. Flying already frustrates the crap out of me because every flight is delayed by 2 hours now.
Yeah.
And now you've got this incident where the plane has to be turned around, can't even take off.
Yeah.
God, I'm terrified that this is going to happen to me on the next time I fly. We're flying to Florida in October. I'm now terrified that this is going to happen.
Tyler, it sounds like you've got the same redneck streak that I do. Because I can tell you this, if somebody pulled that crap on a plane, I would stand up in the aisle and give them a browbeating, just like the people that I would that go to the Meade County schools that dress up like cats. All right,
they're one and the same.
It would be about the same level, I can tell you that right now. And that doesn't fly. I would be willing to get kicked off the plane for how loud I would berate that person, because they've already screwed me out of my time. And if they say, we're going to have to replace you on another flight, I would say, let me get my money's worth, man. Give me 5 minutes. Everybody get out your camera, because this is going to be really good.
That's great.
You know, I would get my money's worth out of it, because I don't put up with that crap. And you and I apparently have the same redneck streak. Don't know where that comes from, but that's beside the point. But, you know, when people do stupid stuff like that, that's the rule when you buy the ticket.
Yes, exactly.
You know what I mean?
I just don't get why are you spending the money on a ticket just to waste it and not even...
Maybe they're just trying to protest.
Maybe. Clearly they have a lot more money than I do that they can just protest by buying a plane ticket.
That's stupid. What we got next time?
All right, Brandon, the answer is this game show has made a complete and utter embarrassment of itself after firing its new host 9 days after getting the job. You have 30 seconds.
That's pretty funny, Tyler.
Thank you. Well, so Mike Richards is out as Jeopardy host after details emerged about his past inappropriate comments, we'll just say, that he made on a podcast from 8 years ago, which also, by the way, has me worried that 8 years from now somebody's going to dig up something we said.
That's fine. I hope they do.
That's neither here nor there.
Get some more listeners. We'll take it.
Brandon, is this the end of Jeopardy as we know it?
Tyler, this stuff like this drives me crazy. This is the same reason, if you recall, a couple years ago, they didn't even have an Oscars host because they dug through so many people's information and their history that they realized we can't have anybody. It's this whole like, oh, we found something that you said 10 years ago, so you can't do anything now. I hate it. It's stupid. If we do that, nobody's going to do anything. We're never going to talk to each other again, and we're going to have to communicate with sign language just to not offend somebody. Get over it. Everybody said something in their life. I would like to go back to these people that found this information and then dig into their lives and put their information out. Just let it go. Just let it go.
So you actually think that Mr. Richards should have remained as the Jeopardy host? Is that what you're saying?
I would just say be careful when you start throwing stones, especially if you are yourself in a glass house.
Okay, that's fair.
And if you're looking for some people in Hollywood that are perfect and that are saintly, we're never going to have anything. I'm just telling you.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to host a show. Nobody's going to host award shows. Nobody's going to get any awards. Just let it go, man.
Yeah, I do somewhat agree with you that the digging up stuff from decades ago when people were kids. I mean, we saw this at the Final Four a couple years ago. The kid from Villanova, after they won the national title, they were finding tweets from when he was like 13 years old
Boo-hoo.
that he had to come out and apologize for. So in some ways I agree with you, but even still, there are certain things that it doesn't matter how long ago you said it. There are certain lines that you just can't cross. There are certain topics that you just cannot say. You cannot cross on those certain areas. I think some of the things he said were in some of those topic
like what?
areas.
Give me an example.
You
don't have to give me the exact quote. Just give me an idea. I just need an idea. What's the line here?
I mean, I think anything racist, anything sexist, anything.
Okay, but what is that? Tyler, the fact that you and I host a podcast, some people would consider racist. What's your line? You know what I mean? Some people's line at racist is just the fact that you're a white person. All right, so you got to define the line. You have to define the lines. Everybody's got a different definition. Mm-hmm. I would have to see exactly what he said, but again, at the end of the day, I don't know. I don't care. If I'm not electing a pope. I'm electing an entertaining host for a show. Does that make sense?
Right. Yeah. And the cojones on this dude. He was the producer of Jeopardy, and was basically the search committee to find a new Jeopardy host. And I just love the fact that he said, "You know what? I found who's going to be the best host for Jeopardy. Me." I mean, I do love that part of the story, that he just proclaimed himself the next Jeopardy host.
Have you ever watched Horrible Bosses, Tyler?
No, I haven't.
There's this great. It's got Kevin Spacey in it. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
But he's like he's the president of the company, and he's looking for the next vice president. And he makes the big announcement. He's like, "I'm going to be the vice president." He's like, "But I'm only going to accept 85% of the additional salary for that to show sacrifice." And he goes and knocks down the walls and just makes a gigantic office.
That's great.
It is. I mean, it is kind of weird. He does have some cojones to do this. But Mayim Bialik, or is that her name? Blossom Russo. Blossom.
Yeah, the Amy Farrah Fowler from The Big Bang Theory.
Yeah, so she was going to be the host on the special occasion episodes, but it looks like she's going to be taking over in the interim until they find somebody. I would just say, when they're doing background searches on people, find out who the people are that go through tweets from 10 years ago or podcasts, because they do a great job.
Right?
Who are those? If I were the FBI, I would be hiring those people because they're really, really good. But I think I got burnt out on all this stuff with people finding things in people's closets when the Oscars couldn't even find a host. They had a hostless show because they are so afraid to hurt anybody's feelings about anything that they just said, "No, we're not gonna do it."
Yeah.
So I'm just kind of over it at this point, just overall.
I get it. It definitely can go too far. I agree with you on that.
Tyler, onto a subject that I hope we can zip through in about 30 seconds because I'm
right.
really uncomfortable talking about it.
All right.
When I saw this on the list, I was like, "Oh boy,
we got to talk about it. We got to mention it."
Do we really have to talk about it? Okay. Tyler, I think we all saw what happened in Afghanistan over the last week or so. Taliban's taken over. U.S. is withdrawn. Thoughts? I mean, we should preface this by saying that neither you nor I are foreign policy experts.
No, we're not going to be the ambassadors to any foreign countries anytime soon. Just a couple thoughts I have. One, we have been fighting the war in Afghanistan for over half of my life. Half of my life. Mm-hmm. We've been there 20 years.
Yeah.
It's wild when you think about that. That, I mean, there are 20-year-olds that their entire life we've been fighting in Afghanistan. And I mean, at some point it had to come to an end.
Yeah.
I mean, we can't just indefinitely be there.
Well, we reached an agreement to pull out last year. So, I mean, an agreement was written up to get out.
Yes.
So, I mean, we knew this was coming. Everybody was aware that the agreement was in place and that we were leaving.
Yeah. And it doesn't matter which president it was that this happened under, they were going to get extreme backlash. No matter if it had been Biden, if it had been Trump, if it had been Obama, if it had been George W. Nobody wanted to be the one to end it because they knew the criticism that Biden is getting would be coming. So I at least give him credit for bringing this war to an end, knowing that he's going to get crushed to at least do what he thinks is right. I mean, whether you think that's right or not, I mean, the last 3 presidents before him, passed the buck on, and it had to stop at some point. It is extremely sad. The images of those airports and the people trying to climb onto a moving plane, getting ready to take off.
They got on the plane.
Oh my God! I mean,
they fell off.
Dude, that's heavy stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, it's heartbreaking, and it really frustrates me. When people refer to Andy or Biden or Trump or anybody like, oh, that dictator. That tyrant. Right? Look at what people in Afghanistan are doing to get out of that country. That's a true desperation right there. Okay, the United States is nothing like that. So quit comparing our leaders, our government, to that, because I seriously doubt that when Trump was elected or when Biden was elected, that anybody would have been willing to jump onto a moving airplane to try to get out of the country.
Yeah.
So I think that should put everything in quite a bit of perspective.
Yeah, a couple of things. So I think one of your points of people not realizing what they have until you see it in other countries. Number one, I think there is a group of people in this country that have a blind faith in America, and they will stand up for it even when it does wrong things, and they're not willing to acknowledge it. On the other half of it, you have a group of people that think America is the worst place on the planet, and we oppress people to the point that it's just ridiculous, and there's no redeeming qualities in America, right? So you have these two sides just like bickering all the time. It's absolutely ridiculous. I think it's somewhere in the middle, to be honest.
Yep.
We have our faults, but we're by far the best place to live on the planet. It's not even close. Not even close. I do think that I will say when Donald Trump made the agreement, I was excited about it because, like you, I was like, okay, I'm glad this is over. The problem is it's not that he did it, right? It's not that Biden got us out because I don't think there was going to be that much backlash because it was already something that was agreed to. Mm-hmm. Everybody was on the same page. This is happening. This is happening this year.
Right.
I don't think that that's the issue. I think the issue was getting out, the getting out part. We messed it up.
Yeah.
I mean, stuff happens. Presidents make mistakes. President Trump made mistakes, for sure, right? I mean, I've talked about him. I like some of the things he did. Some of the things I would, I'm not a fan of at all.
Didn't it?
Yeah, exactly. This is one that Biden kind of owns, but it's not the end all, be all. I mean, he can still do some good things, right? Mm-hmm. So it's one of those, I think he has to own up to it because we didn't get out correctly. We knew this was going to happen. So I don't think the backlash is that we got out. It's the fact that we got out, we left god-awful amount of weapons and, armory behind, Black Hawk helicopters, drones, all this stuff. And you just got to wonder if people like China and Russia are going to go in there to the Taliban that own all this equipment and say, hey, we'll buy all that up for you. So we're going to give you a ton of money. We'll take the technology and learn how to use it. Now the Taliban's got a bunch of money. Mm-hmm. That's the only thing that bothers me. So I think the military should have been the last people to leave as opposed to the citizens. You get the citizens out first. The military should be the last people to leave, not the citizens. You know what I mean? That's the only thing that bothered me, and I think that's going to be the lasting kind of issue with this. We'll see if he can get over it. Politically speaking, as an independent, I don't know that this is going to hurt him because this is 3 years out from an election. People have a short memory. They'll forget this in 3 weeks. Yep. Politically speaking, I hate to say that.
Unfortunately,
but it's
right.
true.
Yep. Yeah, you're very right. All right. Well, that was
deep breath. Hold on, Ty. Let me get a sip of bourbon.
Okay, me too.
That was pretty heavy. I wasn't ready for that. I saw that come up on the topics. I was like, Jesus, please. No.
Yeah, I didn't even know where to put it in on the list because I knew it was just going to.
I mean, it's the biggest story of the week, no doubt, but it's just difficult to talk about.
All right, so let's end this on a more light beat topic.
Please,
to wrap
please,
out the
Tyler, redeem us.
Okay, so Brandon, you remember the guy when he was a baby was photographed for the famous Nirvana album?
Oh yeah, the baby in the water chasing the dollar bill.
Yes. Well, he has filed a lawsuit saying that he was a victim of child pornography. Mm-hmm. He's filed lawsuit against the band, the record company,
Sure.
on and on. Brandon, does this story want to give you an aneurysm, or should the band give all apologies to the guy?
This guy, Tyler, you were on fire this week, I got to say.
Thank you.
I got, just like the guy in the pool, he's still chasing the dollar. This guy has made money off being the baby in Nirvana. That is a great pickup line. This guy has lived off of it forever. Hey, what's your major? He didn't have to say that. He'd say, hey, do you know I was on the Nirvana cover? Oh, my God, that's so awesome. He got to bypass all the small talk and say, yeah, I was on the Nirvana.
Doubt.
He's got a Nirvana tattoo. He's done interviews where he's talked about how much Nirvana has been such a big influence in his life.
Yep.
Now, all of a sudden, he's a victim. Something tells me that an attorney got in his ear that's trying to make money off this, to be honest with you. I think an attorney said, hey, you know what? You could file a lawsuit here, and you may be able to get something out of this. Even if they settle, you could be a millionaire, multi-millionaire. So I think it's an attorney that got in his ear versus this guy, because the guy himself has said that he didn't have a problem with it until the band stopped answering his phone calls. Mm-hmm. So take that for what it's worth.
Yeah, it is very interesting how he has, he has made an entire life. He has recreated the photo shoots multiple times.
Yeah.
Like I said, he's got a Nirvana tattoo. He has been hyping this train up for his entire life. And he's, I'm sure made lots of money off of it because of it. And now all of a sudden, he's going to file a lawsuit.
Yeah, I don't get it.
It doesn't make sense. But at the same time, do you think he has a case? I mean, I remember when I was a kid, this album came out in early 90s?
Yeah, like 91 or 92, something like that.
I mean, so I was, an elementary kid, and I remember walking through the electronics section and seeing this Nirvana album cover, and even at that age, I'm like, whoa! I mean, how is that even allowed? Yeah. I mean, I know it was the 90s.
Everybody had the same question.
I mean, it just is so inappropriate. Like, put a naked baby with their genitals showing on an album cover. I mean, I honestly, I think he's got a case, and if it comes out that the dude's parents if they didn't sign all the appropriate forms, and that record company doesn't have permission from them, he might make a lot of money off of this.
Well, it's interesting because when that album came out, nobody knew who Nirvana was. They were a garage grunge band from Seattle. So the record company may have been like, yeah, put that out, nobody's going to care. Next thing you know, they sell 10 million records, and they're like, oh, crap. It's kind of like Milli Vanilli, right? They're like, well, we need an album. All right, these guys aren't going to sing. Nobody's going to care about this record. Let's get it done and shoot some music videos. Next thing you know, they're winning a Grammy, and they're like, oh, crap.
What do we do now?
Now we've screwed up. All right. So similar situation. I just think the fact that he's made a living off of it and has participated with the band in so many things, regardless of what that paperwork says, I think common sense has to play a role at some point just to say, all right, give back all the money that you've earned from doing this,
right,
and we'll call it even.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, he's definitely changed his tune quite a bit on this one.
Yeah, to me, it doesn't smell like Teen Spirit, Tyler. It smells like BS.
Oh,
I see. I got one in right before we finished.
Very good, sir.
Thank you very much.
Great way to end our news segment right there.
Yeah, and for our third segment, Tyler, we're going to do something fun, something that we like to do, and that's our Wheel of Stupid Debates.
Oh, are we doing that today?
We are doing that.
Great.
Let's do it. I think we may have time for like 2 to 3 rounds of this.
Okay. I'm for
Probably 2. I think we have room for 2 based on the timing. But I've got the wheel. Let me grab it over here.
All right. I'll wait. Take your time. Don't hurt yourself.
When you hit a certain age, you have to grunt every time you move. So for those that are listening on audio, this will be on YouTube for the full video. I've got a wheel here. You can see it's kind of empty right now, but we have color-coded the wheel because we're tired of writing on it and messing up the wheel. You can see it's kind of scarred from all of our marker writing. So we've got it color-coded with questions that we'll spin the wheel. So if it lands on green, we will ask the question that is color-coded to the green on our sheet.
We're getting so technological on this show.
I know. It's crazy, isn't it? So, Tyler, do you want to spin first?
Oh, but it's your house. I mean,
I know. It's our show, though. Go ahead. You spin first.
All right. Okay. Here we go. Big money. No whammies. No whammies. Big bucks. Stop.
Green, Tyler. What is the green question?
The green question.
And for those of you wondering why, if you're watching this on video, we do have a green screen, so it's going to fade the green out to black.
Okay. So the black question is, would you rather never be able to leave Lexington ever again, to our hometown, where we reside? Would you rather never be able to leave here again, or have to leave right now, like right this second, we get up right now and we leave town and we are never allowed to come back again?
Oh, wow. That's a great question, Tyler. So are you talking about Lexington, just the city, Fayette County, or are you talking about the entire central Kentucky area?
Well, I think we do need to clarify that.
Yes, we do.
Where do we want to go?
I would just say the central Kentucky bluegrass area.
Okay, so can never...
Because it would be cheating. I could just say, okay, I'll just go to Jessamine County.
Yeah, that's a great point.
So let's make that.
Okay.
I love Lexington, and I love Kentucky in general. I think where we grew up, maybe I didn't appreciate it at the time, how much natural beauty it has and how much stuff it's got going for it. The people there are great in Whitesburg, Kentucky. Lexington, Kentucky has great people, too, a lot of stuff here. But I'm a traveler, man. I'm out of here. See you later. I'm out. I like to travel. I like to move around. We've had to take shows where we do Zoom calls on the show because I like to go do things. I just like to do stuff. The world's a big, big, big place. And I want to see as much of it as I humanly can. So how am I going to achieve my bucket list if I'm stuck in one place?
That would be hard. I don't think they can bring the Coliseum to Lexington or any of the Eiffel Tower or anything like that. So it's tough, man. 'Cause I love Lexington. There is nowhere else on this planet I would rather live.
Agreed.
Than Lexington.
I'm with you.
Because I am Big Blue Nation to the core. I love being right in the thick of all things Kentucky Wildcats. Love being able to go to a game just anytime I want to.
Yep.
It's just right down the road.
Yep, it's nice.
And you think about, okay, I can never go to Rupp Arena ever again. Can never go to a game at Kroger Field ever again. That's tough.
It is tough.
That is really tough.
But think about this, Tyler. You could go to the away games.
That's true.
So
and the neutral site games.
Half of the games you would be able to go to still.
Yep. You could go to all the NCAA tournament games.
Exactly. So it doesn't mean that you're totally out from UK
go
sports.
To the bowl games.
Those games are usually more fun and rowdier than the Rupp Arena games.
That's true. That's a very good point, and I think I would have to go with you on this one.
Oh.
It would be...
I'm surprised, Tyler. I didn't think you'd want to leave. Man,
but, my wife also loves to travel, and I don't think I want to be cooped up in a house with my wife where she's not allowed to travel anymore for the rest of my life. I don't think she would take that very well.
No, that wouldn't go well.
Yeah, so I think you got to travel. I mean, you can't spend the rest of your life in the same place. You'll go crazy.
Yeah,
your family will go crazy.
Okay, that's good. That's good. I'm glad we agree on that one, Tyler. I didn't know where you'd go on that one, but I think it is a good question, though. Because there are a lot of people, there's some people that we know that never really leave their own county.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So they may say, I would just stay right here.
Yeah, and then you think about, okay, you can only fit so much stuff in your car, so you're leaving behind all your belongings in your house too. All your,
True.
memories, everything is going to be lost forever.
That was a good way to start, Tyler. Let's do one more.
Okay.
Real stupid debates. We're going to spin it.
All right, let's go.
I'll do this one. You ready?
Do it. Round and round she goes.
Red.
The red question. Oh boy.
Oh no. I'm excited to see where this one
all
goes,
right.
Tyler. What do we got?
Brandon, do you like soft or hard tacos? Which is better, soft shell or hard shell tacos? This is really the great dilemma of our time.
This is tricky because there's, gosh, this is tricky. So
let's say you could only eat one of them
for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Okay. So first of all, crunchy hard tacos have a better flavor. Okay, they've got that corn shell kind of flavor. Mm-hmm. It gives an extra depth of flavor and just tastiness to the taco. Okay, it doesn't get soggy.
Yep.
So that's a plus. However, the first bite of the crunchy taco, it immediately collapses. All the stuff falls out of the bottom, and you're done with it. I think the perfect taco is a soft shell taco that hasn't been setting for more than a minute and a half because it hasn't had a chance to get soggy. You've got to get the soft taco, but don't let it sit. So in my opinion, the soft taco does a better job because it does not collapse under the pressure of eating.
Mm-hmm. That's a great point about the hard shell. You almost have to kind of use both hands to kind of hold all the pieces together. Like you have to hold that thing the whole time. If you let go, that whole sucker is falling apart.
It's like you're an emergency in the ER for tacos. You're like constantly. I'm losing the patient.
Yeah, I got to keep pressure on the wound.
Exactly. It's going to bleed out. All the meat's going to fall out. Same thing.
Yeah. So that's a factor. I think if we're just talking, like the generic like Kroger brand soft shell versus hard shell, I think those soft shell tortillas aren't very good.
No, they're not.
Like, I think the crunchy hard shells are much better. But when you get to the higher level, the high end, for my money, if we're just looking at local restaurants, I think Local Taco, their soft tortillas are amazing.
Yes.
I could just eat the tortilla by itself.
Yeah, they're delicious.
They are amazing. I don't know what they do in the kitchen at Local Taco, which, by the way, if you've never been, you got to get if you live outside of Lexington, next time you come to town, Local Taco, the best tacos you will ever eat.
One of my favorite places in the whole city.
We do.
Easily.
We go there all the time. So I think once you get to that level, there is a big difference between the soft and the hard. So I'm going to go soft shell as well, just because I can't imagine not being able to go to Local Taco and get those delicious tortillas.
Yeah, and let me ask you this. Do you make tacos at home, Tyler?
Oh, all the time.
Okay,
Like once a week we have taco
Okay,
night.
So I'm assuming you do soft shells.
Most of the time we throw in the hard shells,
How do you heat
when we like to spice it up a little bit.
How do you heat up the soft shells? Or do you heat them up?
I mean, I don't do any of the cooking at our house, so I'm not exactly sure what my wife does to them.
Okay.
I know when I was a single man as a bachelor and had to cook my own tacos, I would heat them up in the oven.
Okay, so you get them a little crunchy on the outside.
Yeah.
I was going to say the trick that I do, I get a little skillet on the side, and you don't have to put anything in it, so you don't really have to clean it afterwards.
Oh.
You just heat it up really, really hot, like on medium-high heat, and you put the shell in for like 10 seconds on each side, and it just browns it a little bit so it doesn't lose its grasp on the food. It doesn't get soggy. It's got some texture to it.
Look at you.
I think that's what they do at Local Taco, too.
Interesting.
They heat it on a flat surface for like 5 or 10 seconds. So just a little thought. That may up your taco game. I don't know. I'm sure your tacos are fine. I'm just saying that's what I do. And it's really good.
I mean, everybody loves a good taco night. Is there anybody who doesn't like tacos?
Yeah, everybody says Taco Tuesday. I'm like, name the days that aren't taco days. I would eat there every day.
I'm fine with Taco Sunday, Taco Wednesday.
Just let me know the days that aren't taco day. It reminds me of that Beavis and Butthead cartoon episode where he says you're expelled, and they're like, but today's taco day.
we have to go to school today. It's Taco Day.
They're all upset that they're going to miss Taco Day, and I think that stuck with me ever since. I don't know what it is, but I love tacos, man.
Yeah, I agree. When I was at school at Eastern, they would have a different specialty in the cafeteria like every day, and I always look forward to Taco Day.
Oh man, that is a great day.
But they would only let you get 2 tacos when you went through the line.
Oh, that's a shame.
So I'd always get one soft and one crunchy, and then one time I was like, you know what? I'm just going to ask for 3 tacos. And the dude looked at me like I had 5 heads. It's like, no, man, you'll get too fat. Like, you can only have 2. Like, oh,
jeez. So you got gutsy, Tyler. You tried to stand up to the taco guy.
Yeah, so only two tacos for me. So I just go through line like 4 times.
I was always jealous of your all's food facilities. You guys had some amazing.
Great.
You guys had some really high. You were way ahead of UK at the time. I think UK has recently passed that.
They have.
But at that time, I'm sure it goes in waves. Right now UK may be better, but when we were in school, EKU had the facilities.
It was way underrated, man.
Yeah, I was very impressed. This was a very interesting episode. I didn't think we would end on such a dynamic taco debate.
We went from Afghanistan to tacos in just a matter of minutes.
That's a tough transition, but that's what we do here. We provide the information, and we just tell it like it is. Some of it's uncomfortable. I was uncomfortable talking about the Afghanistan situation, but I was really comfortable talking about the taco situation. But overall, a very fun show, Tyler. I'm glad we get to do this back in studio again. And again, if you haven't followed us already, on Twitter, at LexBuds, LexBuds and Pick and Roll on Facebook, at LexBuds on the Instagrams. I mean, you can find us anywhere on the internet. Just type in the word LexBuds. And like Tyler said, keep an eye out for our video that'll be up on our website. We'll keep you updated when that's coming out, but it's going to be talking about trivia in Lexington, in particular our recent event that we videoed last Sunday where we got to help create the questions and then got to videotape a lot of the teams working together, getting the right answers, the wrong answers, and just getting an overall feel for trivia in Lexington. I thought it was fun. I can't wait to get that out there.
It was. We can't wait to share that with you guys. And make sure you also leave us a review on the podcast. We love hearing from people, whether it's good or bad. We're willing to hear some constructive criticism as well.
Are we?
No, we just delete those.
Yeah, we delete those. We will always have a 5-star review because we delete everything.
Yeah, anything below 5 stars just automatically gets deleted.
No, we don't do that.
No, we are fully transparent.
Yeah, but absolutely, Tyler. This was a fun one. Leave us a review, and I guess we'll do it again.
Yeah, we'll be back and to talk about week 1 of the football season next time.
I'm so excited. It's going to be great. I look forward to it, and we will see you on the next episode.
Stay classy, Kentucky.